Schurr na deuxième degré ya kifo.
You will not see any celebrations on behalf of the family.
Hautaona celebration yote kupitia kutoka kwa jamaa.
But at the same time, you will hear on behalf of the Lyoya family,
Na kwa hiyo mtasikia kutoka kwa jamaa Lyoya.
we would like to thank and acknowledge the hard work by the Michigan State Police,
Na tutatafuta kusema asante kwa kazi yote ya nguvu enye Michigan State Police inafanya.
Sergeant Tubergen, spelled T as in Tom, Ubergen. Sergeant Tubergen has had direct contact with my clients from the beginning.
Na Sergeant Tubergen alikuwa na contact direct na client wangu tangia mwanzo.
And with me yesterday and today.
Alinita na leo alinita.
We'd also like to thank Mr. Becker,
Na tunatafuta kusema tena asante kwa Becker,
who literally called my client and me probably 2 minutes before he announced his decision today.
aliita client wangu na mie 2 minutes avant afanye press conference yake.
I would hope that he and everybody could understand
Na ndatumaini kama kila mtu wote hapa, yeye na mimi na kila mtu tutaelewa
how the past 2 months has felt like an eternity to the Lyoya family.
hii miezi mbili yenye natoka kupita ilikuwa kama milele kwa jamaa ya Lyoya.
We don't mean any disrespect by our comments about how long it took.
Na tuwezi kusema sisi tunampunguzia heshima kwa komantere yetu kwa sababu ilichukua muda mrefu.
But when your son is shot in the back of the head by a police officer in the line of duty when he himself was unarmed,
Na kama mtoto wako anapigwa masasi kwa polisi nyuma ya kichwa, anakuona kama mtoto wako hakukuwa na bunduki yeye peke,
to the family it felt like forever.
na kwa jamaa ilikuwa kama ni milele.
The elements that are going to be important on the second degree murder, you all know I'm a civil lawyer, not a criminal lawyer, but I can still read most of the time.
Na najua kama nyinyi wote mnajua element itacheza kwa hii charge wanamtia deuxième degré kifu. Niko nani avocat droit civil hapana droit criminel.
Death,
Kifu
going to be undisputed obviously.
batakuwa discuter,
Caused by the defendant,
itakuwa créé kwa défendant,
going to be undisputed obviously.
discuter ile,
With either a state of mind
na ile yote itakuwa kwa kupitia mafikirio,
that there is an intent to kill,
na ilikuwa na intention ya kuua,
an intent to commit great bodily harm,
na intention ya kufanya vitu mbaya kwa mwili,
or an intent to create a very high risk of death
na kufanya riski mkubwa sana ya kifo
or great bodily harm,
na kulumiza mtu mbaya,
with the knowledge that death or great bodily harm was the probable result,
na kuangalia kama kifu na mtu walilumiza ilikuwa resulta ya vitu ilipitikana.
there is no excuse for the killing.
Hakukuwa hata kitu moja kusema kusikize juu alimuua,
Like, for example,
kwa sababu kama example
self-defense,
kulikuwa kitu kama ilikuwa self defense, kujiproteger,
which is obviously what Officer Schurr's criminal defense team will argue.
na njoo yenye kitu tasikia batu ya avoka yake ya Schurr batenda banasema banapiganisha se kama alikuwa na kidefend.
As a civil lawyer, it's not for me to comment on what are probable or likely jail sentences, because as you all know, that's a huge if there's a conviction.
Na najua kama mie niko avoka wa droit civil, na siwezi kusema kama ndena kumusema bamufunge kwa sababu mnajua kama kuko possibility kama batamusharge.
So in your questions today, when you want to know, which is a logical question, I guess, what is the possible sentence? The answer is, I don't know, and it's a long way to go, y'all, so we're not going to be commenting on that today.
Na najua kama kuna swali yenu mnatafuta kuniuliza kama yeye batana kumufunga, yeye batana kumpatia pimisho gani, mimi sijue, lakini mimi najua kama itakuwa njia mrefu sana.
What we do think today shows
Kitu yenye tunafikiri leo inaonesha
is something that Ben Crump and I,
ni kitu yenye kama mie na Ben Crump
on the behalf of the family,
na kupitia kwa jamaa ya Patrick Lyoya
have not just been saying,
hatukuwa tu tuko tunasema,
but have been publicly showing you and proving to you the evidence
na tuko tunabaonesha ma evidence yote yenye pale,
that there is no excuse whatsoever
na kukuata kitu moja ya kujisikize pale popote
for Patrick being shot in the back of the head.
Patrick kupigwa masasi nyuma ya kichwa.
Unfortunately, many people in our society believe
Na malheureusement batu mingi mu societe yetu banakuwa banakroire
contrary to Michigan and United States law,
contrairement na ku Michigan na ku États-Unis, sheria États-Unis,
that if you resist arrest,
kama una resiste polisi kwa kufunga,
the officer can do anything he wants to you, up to and including kill you.
na polisi atena kufanya yote yenye anataka, askari atena kufanya yote anataka na mpaka kuua.
That's blatantly false,
Na ile kitu iko mbaya,
and case law absolutely makes it clear that cannot be done.
na tuko tunasema kama tunazungumza kama hii kitu haiwezi kufanyikana hata kidogo.
It apparently is so clear
Ninakuya kwa kuonesha
to the Kent County prosecutor,
kwa kutokea ku Kent County procureur,
who certainly has never charged another officer, even though there have been a number of shootings, with this crime before.
na haya hata siku moja kwa katana charger officier moya na kushakwa mabitu bifu mingi bibitikana mupase,
How clear he believes this evidence to be.
na kuona kama hii evidence ilikuwa from Claire,
Obviously, Mr. Becker and his office
na kusema kweli kama Beka na biro yake
will have the full cooperation
batakuwa na cooperation yote mzuri
of both Ben Crump and my law firms
na Ben Crump na mie hapa na watu wangu ninatumika nabo
and the entire Lyoya family.
na kutokea na jamaa yote ya Lyoya.
Last thing I want to say myself
Na kitu
before
mwisho mimi natafuta kusema mbele ni bapatie neno,
I introduce who's here and then ask Mr. Crump to say a few words. Hopefully he's available.
na nikuambia nani bwana Crump aseme Kenya atasema kama atakuwa disponible
Any and all people
kwa watu wote
in Grand Rapids
mu Grand Rapids
or anywhere else across the country or this
kufikia
world,
wote mu États-Unis.
there should be no violence whatsoever
Na
today
tupendi hata violence leo na kusikua hata vitu yenye vitavunjika leo
or in any other day.
na siku yote yenye nakuya,
In the name of Patrick Lyoya,
kwa jina ya Patrick Lyoya.
this family
Hii jamaa
has been absolutely devastated by the death of their son and brother.
ilivunjika moyo sana kwa kupitia kifu ya ndugu yao na mtoto wao,
And the last thing they want
na kitu ya mwisho banataka tena
is anyone else to get hurt.
na mtu wote mwingine aumie.
They've done the right thing.
Walifanya kitu mzuri,
They've come forward.
walikuja mbele,
They've cooperated with the authorities.
walizungumza na autorite,
They retained lawyers
walikamata avoka
to abide by the legal system.
na kuikala kufuata systeme legal yenye iko ya nchi.
And that's what they're asking everybody. Let calm be the word of the day.
Na njoo yenye biko banaambia watu bote neno ya leo,
And please honor Patrick.
na kusema se kama umuonore Patrick, umheshimu Patrick.
If you choose to demonstrate, protest, or what have you,
Kama unatafuta demonstre protest yenye unatafuta kufanya,
please do so peacefully.
uifanye kwa kimya,
And we want no one else to be injured or killed.
na tupendi mtu wowote alumie wala kufe.
To my right, everyone knows,
Kwa mkono wangu wa mume mnyi wote mnajua
is Peter Lyoya, who is Patrick's dad.
Peter Lyoya mwenye ko babake na Patrick.
Next to Peter is Israel Siku,
Pembeni yake
SIKU.
kuna Israeli Siku, SIKU,
He's been our on-demand interpreter,
na interpret wetu,
a confidant, pastor, best friend to Peter and the family.
ko mchungaji na mtu mwenye banazungumza sana na Patrick, familia Patrick.
Next to Israel, we're blessed to have Grand Rapids Commissioner
Na pembeni yangu tuko na commissaire
Robert Womack,
Robert Womack,
who has been supportive and 100% transparent with this family from day one.
na mwenye iko na supporte familia na kukua kuonesha uwazi tangia siku ya kwanza.
And he is here at our invitation, and we're eternally grateful for
Na
that.
tuko hapa na invitation yetu na tunasema asante sana.
To the right of Mr. Womack
Kwenda kwa mkono ya nyingine ya mwanaume ya
Is
Papa
it-
Womack
is attorney Darren Findling,
ni avocat Darren Fenley.
Findling. Darren is with the law firm Probate Pro in Royal Oak,
Na anatumika Grand Rapids na probate.
and the family has retained Mr. Findling as his firm to open up the probate estate,
Na jamaa Lyoya ilimwangaje kusema banamkamata kama mtu mwenye ataangalia vitu ya probation.
Which is- sorry.
Grand Rapids.
which is pretty standard procedure,
Na
But-
kusema standard mwa mzuri sana.
has to happen in order for there to be an initiation of any probate or civil proceedings.
Na inapaswa kufika kuona kama hii ndio inapasha kufikia,
such as those that Mr. Crump and I will be discussing and contemplating.
na ndio vitu yenye mie na Mr. Crump tutakuwa tunazungumza mu masiku kuja.
Do we have Ben on?
He says give him 2 minutes.
2 more minutes? Okay, well, here comes the soft shoe.
Here he is.
I don't dance well anyway, so thank you. Mar, please don't dance, Ben. Just don't dance. Sorry for the Zoom problems today, guys. I apologize.
Oh, how did he go? He jumped off.
So you jumped off then.
Yeah.
Okay. Before you guys leave, if you want, I have made a copy of the second-degree murder criminal charges.
Mbele mwende nilikamata, niko na karatasi yale masharge yote yenye walifanya contre officier,
There are some what we call lesser included offenses there as well.
na kuko vingine masharge yenye tulikuwa tunasema ya kidogo.
And these are the instructions that the prosecutor will be, or I should say the judge in the criminal case would be giving the jury.
Na hii ndio yenye tutakuwa tunababata, jiji atapatia bajiri.
Mr. Crump is in California and trying to break it. Hey, Cliff, how we doing?
I'm great, sir. I'm getting him on right now. How you doing?
I'm well, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Yes,
you,
sir.
Cliff.
We got everybody.
We got everybody.
I have more. Give me 60 seconds.
Yes, sir. So if anybody wants a copy of that, Alex Urban from Near Perfect Media has that for you in the written form.
Kila mtu wote mwenye anataka ile kopi, kuko mtu mwenye kupala atapatia hiyo.
If you'd prefer it to be emailed to you, let us know, and Danielle Aspin, my executive
Kama
assistant,
nataka tuwatumie ku email tutawatumia hayo,
or Alex will handle it.
na Alex atafanya kazi.
Thank you for your patience.
Asante kwa uvumilivu yenu.
Danielle, we need to get a license in this room, apparently. Look at us. Unlicensed room.
Oh, yeah. Licensing. Where's in California?
He's in California. I'll give that to you later, but that's the letter.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. If I need to speak with him, I'm happy to. Thank you, Israel.
Then while we're waiting, do you want to talk about this?
Oops, sir.
Sorry, Israel's taking a quick call from someone very important in our state.
Hello, Attorney Johnson.
Ben,
Can you hear me?
I can, Ben. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm heartfelt for the Lyoya family for having this first step at justice. I believe that since the killing of George Floyd, we are on a record pace this year of police killings in America. But hopefully, will there being a measure of accountability, we can start to prevent some of these unnecessary and just killings of black men, completely unjustified.
Na yenye
Patrick
kujustifie.
was shot in the back of the head, as we said, execute.
Execute.
It is
Recording in progress.
more than appropriate that these charges are brought against this officer who did not have to do this, as Attorney Johnson and I have articulated,
Anasema sasa
that
ingefanya
he can have done any number of things to prevent blowing Patrick
ile
Lyoya's head
vitu
off.
vyenye ule polisi
And so we
akalifanya
stand
akuifanya
to
jo
acknowledge
venye
this
Patrick
moment
asikufe.
in Grand Rapids
Ndio anasema
as
sasa hii
hopefully
mama
a step
mimi
in the
nafurahi
right
juu tuko tunaenda
direction
mu
to
victoire
prevent
juu tunaenda mungia na tuko
unnecessary
tunatafuta kupase
excessive
barua
force
yenye itakuwa nafanya
against
basi kwa
marginalized people, especially black people in America.
spesialement ba noir.
Thank you, Ben.
Asante Ben.
Thank you, Ben. And to Mr. Lyoya,
Na kwa
my
msimu
heart
moja
breaks for you and your family
roho yangu navunjika juu yako na jamaa yako.
because what it says today is an acknowledgement that this police officer was wrong.
Leo yule polisi
He was wrong.
alikuwa mwerere, alifanya makosa.
Mr. Israel, if you can translate that, let him know, just like we said at the White House,
Gesi tulisema
it
kwa
was
White House
wrong.
ilikuwa
We
mbaya,
said today in Michigan,
alifanya
it is
makosa,
wrong.
alisema Michigan leo iko wrong, alifanya makosa.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we turn over for questions, Commissioner Womack, did you want to say anything?
I just really want to thank Ben Crump,
Mimi natafuta kusema asante kwa
Attorney Ven Johnson,
avocat Ven Johnson
for helping to bring national attention to this so we can also help make sure that this doesn't happen anywhere else in
na
America.
kusema kukamata attention ya nation yote kuonesha kama hii kitu isifikae tena mu Amerika.
I want to thank Peter Lyoya and his family for being patient.
Mimi natafuta kusema asante kwa Peter Lyoya na jamaa yake kukuwa uvumilivu.
Thank Prosecutor Becker for explaining what took so long to have this thorough investigation.
Asante kwa procureur Becker kwa kuexplique pourquoi ilikamata muda mrefu.
And just thank his office for sending a message to a community that's been overlooked, a community that has not always found justice, that someone else understands that our lives matter.
Na kwa biro yake kwa kusema alituma message mu communauté yenye wanakuwa wana mépriser, wanakuwa na minimiser na kuona kama watabangalie, anatuma message ya kusema kama maisha watu weusi yote iko na valeur.
Questions, folks?
Yesterday you said you weren't expecting this. What you said you found out ahead of this news conference. What do you attribute it to? The gravity of the unarmed situation? And I'll let you speak. Why do you think it went the way you didn't expect?
Anasema jana ulisema se kama
36 years I've been doing this stuff, folks, and in only one case,
na kasi tu moya
one of sadly hundreds of cases,
na kupitia
has an officer ever been charged before in one of my cases.
moya tu ndio washasharge
So
polisi.
that's the level of my cynicism.
Na ndio kusema kwa mimi nakuwa nilikuwa na
And I commend Mr. Becker for getting beyond that.
na mimi nasema Mr. Becker akwe nyuma ya ile.
To me,
Kwangu mie
this was so crystal clear
ilikuwa kuonesha kweli
that these charges absolutely had to be.
hii masharti yote mastaki yote ifale na ku
The Michigan State Police doing an investigation clearly led to these charges, which tells you, although they don't make charging decisions,
na
they
Michigan
felt
State
this
ilifanya
was
hii
what's called,
investigation.
sorry folks, a bad shoot.
Walifanya investigation mpaka
Translation,
comprendre,
not justified under the law.
wakafika
Yes,
kufikia
even
kusema
with
se kama
resisting arrest.
aliua mbaya.
Yes, even with the potentiality for alcohol.
Hata kama alikuwa anakunywa pombe.
Yes, even if there were other criminal issues going
Hata kama
on.
kulikuwa ingine masharti criminal.
It's so crystal clear, the prosecutor
kwa procureur
filed charges in second-degree murder because, as we've been saying from day one, none of that stuff matters as it pertains to this interaction on that day.
kuangalia ile interaction yenye ilikuwa katikati ya Patrick na polisi.
Hope I answered your question.
Mr. Johnson, but does Mr. Lyoya want to make a statement? Does he want to say anything?
Not right now. He's going to answer questions, please. Go for
Ben,
it.
can you share, since Mr. Becker called you before you came out here, and it was a private moment,
Yes.
can you share with us both your reaction and Patrick's dad's reaction
Sema
to all
sikwambie
that decision?
reaction yako.
To be fair, and to be accurate, Mr. Becker actually called Peter.
Aliita njo Patrick.
But I, of course, identified that I was in the room so that he knew.
Alikuwa mshambre mule
In our legal world, that is a professional courtesy, and I would want the same.
na nilikuwa nasema yote ndio ifale napitikana juu mimi niko avoka wake.
So when Peter answered the phone, he put it on speaker.
Wakati Peter alijibia simu akaita kuspika,
I introduced myself.
nikajiintroduce.
He was already aware of Israel Suku,
Alikuwa shakunijua Israel.
but I explained to him that he is our interpreter
Na nikamfasiria kama ndio interpret wetu
and that we were all ears.
na tulikuwa hapa.
It was very brief.
Alisema kwa kifupi,
It was very to the point,
alikuwa direct.
even shorter than what he did in the press conference.
Kama ilikuwa mfupi kupitia inapatikana mu conference de presse.
And he expressed his condolences,
Na akasema amekondoleanza, akasema pole yake kwa jamaa.
apologized for what had to feel to the family like taking too long.
Na kalomba msamaha kwa yote yenye ilisema ilifikana kwa jamaa na kisikamata muda mrefu.
Explained why
Na
it took that long.
akajifasiria kwa sababu nini ilikamata muda mrefu.
And just like any good, responsible prosecutor promised that there would be follow-up,
Na kisi procureur wote general alisema se procureur wote tena kusema se atendelesha nafuatilia kesi
in terms of cooperation between the family and the
na
prosecutor's office.
coopération entre famille na bureau procureur.
Peter, would you like to comment on what that felt like to you when you heard those words?
Anasema se eske Peter tena kuambia watu ulijisikia hizo ulisikia ile verdict.
Ninaweza nikaambia watu kwanza, ninaanza na kusema asante kwa huyu prosecutor.
First, I want to say thank you to this prosecutor. That's what I want to tell the people.
Nasema asante kwa Ben Lyoya.
I want to say thank you to Ben Crump, the attorney Ben Crump.
Nasema asante kwa
Ven Johnson.
Ven Johnson.
I want to say thank you also to attorney Ven Johnson.
Kwa hii point tunafikia eko,
where we have come today.
Kweli roho yangu ilikuwa imevunjika kwa hii miezi miwili.
My heart was really broken during these 2 months, the past 2 months.
Basi maneno yalikuwa yanasemewa,
because a lot of things were said,
lakini uhakika sikukuwa nao.
I was not quite sure with the truth in my hand.
Basi na nilikuwa naona kabisa labda hakuna sheria ya Marekani.
And I was thinking maybe there's no justice in America.
Lakini kwa kufatana na gisi procureur anasema,
and to go according to what the prosecutor to charge the just who killed
Patrick hatarudia. Wamefanya wako katika kazi ya mzuri.
And that brings a little bit consolation to our family, because we see everybody that will support us, everybody who stand by us, they did a good job to get this kind of justice.
Lakini nitawashukuru sana nyie wote.
And I want to say thank you to all of you, the media.
Hatutaishia hapa.
We are not done here.
Lakini tuendeleshe kutafuta mpaka tupate justice ya mwisho.
Let's go till to the end and let's get the last justice for Patrick.
Basi namalizia pale na washukuru sana.
I want to just stop there. I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you. Sure.
Ben, Israel, for Commissioner Womack, you guys have been on this for a long time and seen that video over and over. As difficult as it is to watch, do you think you would have gotten those charges without it?
Since it only shows the truth,
Anasema alikuwa anauliza
I would
swali,
certainly hope so.
kama mungeona ile video,
But let's be real.
kama mungeona ile video,
In a word,
msharjo le polisi,
no way. Or is that 2 words?
Atungikuwa
No.
video, atungipata justice.
Israel, I mean, you, for the first demonstrations, you had members of the community on the ground recreating that. A very
Anasema se
powerful image.
demonstration ya kwanza tulifanyaka, tulicreate, tukatia
As
moto
important
chini.
as it is,
Anasema
do you
important
think
iko.
that we would be here without that?
Anasema se unafikiri tungifika hapa kama tungifanya ile demonstration? You want me to answer or you want him to answer?
Peter, if you're comfortable,
Unatafuta kujibia se kama hakungikuwa video, unasema tungipata justice leo.
Mimi najua hatungeona ile video na kuonesha gisi Patrick ameuawa, najua hatungefika kwa hii hatua ya leo.
Okay, I want to say, and I know, if we didn't see the video, and if we didn't show the world what happened to Patrick, we were not going to be here where we are. And also myself, I was going to say that thank you to you, the media, special to Miss Edward and Jacqueline. They were the first person to contact, and I had an interview with them and tell them exactly what happened in the video. it's because of the video and what we did and the attorney and by Mr. Crump that what we have got a little bit justice. What we have heard today. Without that video, there will be no justice at all.
Robert?
And I like to say, once I heard from a few people on the scenes that he had been shot from behind, that's when I began to write a chant and talk about, show the video, we want the world to know. And that just became one of the refrains while we were in Grand Rapids. And it really just shows that without video, without body cam, how many black lives have been lost in the past that did not find justice. I'm so happy to see the justice system working, because my main reason to be involved is to show young people that there are alternatives to burning down buildings. There's alternatives to throwing bricks. We don't want any violence. But I understand how you feel. I understand how young people feel. I understand the frustration. As Attorney Johnson said, he's only seen one more time in Michigan of cases he had where police was charged. And now we're up to 2. So young people have saw the justice system work in the favor of police officers, whether innocent or guilty. Quantified immunity is something that they're familiar with, and they're frustrated. But days like this prove that we can believe in a process. We can believe in but the process, if we did not ask for a thorough investigation, we have proof that there's been video that's been deleted before and lost at the Grand Rapids Police Department.
Let me chime in twice on that. Lauren, I know you're going to ask me that, so I'm clairvoyant on this issue.
Yeah.
All I have is what you all have. I still don't have the Michigan State Police, which, talk about first time in 36 years. I've always get the police report on behalf of the family before now. They withheld it till today, so I cannot wait, and yes, I will share it. You all know I will. Because it's a FOIA document, Freedom of Information Act request, and I put that in air quotes. The evidence is, we all know, that the body cam was turned off. The only way this body cam turns off, is to hold the button down for 3 continuous seconds. Hello? This was not an accidental turnoff. More later. Video. Critical, not just to prosecute a police officer, but the statistics show, y'all, that it actually inures to the officer's benefit the overwhelming majority of the time. But what is happening in our police agencies is there is a non-compliance rate that is so high that they never turn them on, they turn them off. I would argue, without a whole lot of proof, they erase it easily. In half the cases that I deal with body cams, on-dash cams, it wasn't working that day. It didn't record the right way. Fact of the matter is, we as a society, you folks in doing what you do, and again, thank you, great work. We need to hold our police agencies, our cities, responsible for using this equipment every single day, every single time. No matter what happens, let the chips fall where they may. That's what I call transparency. Not using that word while I'm telling you why I'm hiding something from you.
And that was my question. The point of contention from day one was that body cam and how it was knocked off or turned off. And so I was going to ask, are you
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And what
Anasema
could
se
come
kesho yangu
from that,
ilikuwa
if you find
tangia siku ya
discrepancy.
kwanza banasema
What
se
could
ile
come from
kamera ile kamera iliangukaka na nampoze
One of
kesho,
the
eske utangalia ile asemi
Missing pieces of evidence
na kitu bindasema se kitu ya evidence nilikuwa nakosa
when the MSP report was given to Mr. Becker
wakati raporo ya Michigan State Police
as he claimed,
alisema se walimpata
was the download from the on-dash camera on
anasema
top
se
of the
ilikuwa yenye wali telecharge kutoka ku dashcam
dash of the car,
kutoka ku voiture
and I lied, sorry, body camera,
ile
and
body camera
the taser, which likewise has video
na ilikuwa na
capabilities.
video
Typically, we'll find out all together.
na tutakuwa tunaangalia
So what you're going to find is that this body camera never was turned off accidentally ever before in history,
anasema se hii ukiangalia
Except on
hii makamera yako mwili
April 4,
hakuna hata siku
2022.
moja
So
zimisha
that would
Barazal.
certainly damage Officer Schurr's, what will clearly be his version of what happened
na
that
ile
day.
vraiment
on a
itakuja
variety
version
of
yake
topics.
yote mbaya yenye alikuwa anasema ya
So
Mungu.
we'll see. Yes, you know, Lauren, I am going to
I'd
go
say
crazy
something
on
quick, I would say, with all the money we pay
Na hiyo
as
yote kusema sema kote
taxpayers
yenye
for body
tunalipa
cam,
kama baba taxpayer
only civilians caught the footage of Patrick Lyoya actually being shot.
basi wasi
Not
banani
the dash
wasivile
cam
ndio
of the
walikamata
police department
image kisi
officer's
walikuwa
car,
wanapiga Patrick
not the
risasi.
body cam
Hakukuwa hata body
Only the
cam,
ring
hakukuwa hata mtu gari,
of a neighbor
alikuwa
and the
kamera ya neighbor.
passenger who thought fast got out the car
Ndio mwenye
and
alitoka
filmed
mgari akaanza
was the
kufilm
actual shooting caught.
na ndio mwenye alishupiga ile
And
masasi alikuwa anaona
On that point, Robert, we often see online, right, videos now of everything, and people that are filming are often harassed by police and people online. And again, my question to you all, right back, where would we be without it?
na tungekuwa wapi kama tungekuwa
So,
na film?
great question. Yes, sir.
2 points for clarity, please. When did the phone call come specifically?
You mean for Mr. Becker?
Yes. How long before this news briefing?
Approximately, it was 3 o'clock press conference, 2:55-ish. We were literally, I'd gotten out of my chair and we were walking to this room.
And secondly, I have not heard, maybe I'm not paying close enough attention, but the reason why it took 2 months. you said
Anamuuliza
he
se
explained.
question.
Can you paraphrase what you were told?
saa ngapi njo ileta apele
Yes,
ilifika?
Mr. Becker
Anamwambia si apele
said
ilifika,
that he
ilikuwa
felt
mwe
the
14:55.
need to wait for the downloads
Anasema se
of the
Becker
on-body
alikuwa
camera,
anachunga wampatie
in other words,
recharge
from other days,
ya ile kamera
and the
ilikuwa-
download from the taser from other days. They already had what they had on the day
kwa
of.
computer.
That's what he said.
Ndio
He
ndio
apparently also did not go into detail,
na
but
kuingia
publicly,
kwa detail yoyote.
I've read,
Lakini
that he
nilisema-
said that he wanted to contact experts.
alikuwa anatafuta
And you all will
kucontact
remember in George Floyd,
unakumbuka mkaa ya George
one of the
Floyd?
first things that we all saw on TV, and number one thing I want to say to you all, please insist on being in that courtroom every single day in Kent County, Michigan, for every part of this trial, for every hearing, for every trial,
George Floyd, kitu ya kwanza walisema mtelevisheni ilikuwa nini?
so that the public obviously can see this process, which I think only makes us stronger.
Iko na balomba bote bakwe mkuu kila siku sasa tunafanya hivi.
Lost it. Where was I going?
You gave me what I needed.
What was the second part? What the heck was I
The second
saying?
part was why it waited 2 months.
Oh, he said that he wanted to talk to experts. And in George Floyd, what was one of the most critical parts is you saw chiefs of police
Uliona chef wa
from
polisi,
not just Minneapolis, but from other places across the country coming in to say, no, what this officer did was not what he was trained, was wrong. You're going to see the same thing in this case you watch, in criminal and in civil.
itakuwa msivili na mkriminali.
I want to see Christopher